to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Olivia and I'm a homeschool mom of 3. And in today's video, I am finally getting around to posting my daughter's bedroom redo. I actually did it, well, we're probably hitting close to 2 months ago now. And it has just taken me a while to get around to posting it. I got everything done except for the doors, and she has a set of closet doors. This is her bedroom door that goes out into the hallway, and then she also has her own bathroom, so she has her bathroom door in here. And it took me a while to get around to finishing up the paint on those, and we finally finished. The only thing, I do have one thing left to do, and I just knew I needed to get this posted because it's probably not going to get done anytime soon, is to get her dresser painted. She has a cherry wood dresser, which I am not a fan of cherry wood whatsoever, but it is a really good piece of furniture. We've had it since we had her. It was her dresser and her changing table when she was a baby. And so now I just need to redo it, get it painted. She has a really pretty floral quilt with blues and pinks, purples, and so we haven't set on a color, but I'm pretty sure we're going to go with a color instead of like a stain or a wood tone. And that's the only thing I haven't gotten done in here, but everything else is done. Now my daughter, before this, which you will see in the video, had very pink walls, purple curtains. It was very colorful. She likes, like any little girl, everything on the wall. So she had pictures on the wall, art, like her own art. She had stickers, she had drawings, everything on the wall. And I was kind of over everything because it just felt so cluttery. And she does play in her room a lot. And she, you know, she's not the most organized, so I had to just get rid of anything that made it feel extra cluttery in here. And so you'll notice in the video, I also don't have curtains hanging up any longer. I thought about doing curtains, and then I kind of feel like in a room, well, her room is very small, but in a smaller room and a little girl's room where there's just always toys and arts and crafts out, I like to eliminate as much as I can to kind of reduce the clutter feel. So I decided to not go with curtains, and her walls are much cleaner, much more simple than before. And so that's kind of what we're going for, is to simplify her bedroom, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about when you see the before and the afters. I did not film me painting the door and closet doors, but I mean, you're not missing out on much. You'll see the difference in the change. So if you do like this video, please do not forget to subscribe and click that thumbs up button because it really helps me out. And if you want to go the extra mile, feel free to share this video. This is very simple redo. It is not a buy brand new bed set, brand new decorations, nothing like that. I literally only bought paint. Paint goes a long way. I put paint on the walls, paint on the trim and doors, and other than that, we used everything that we already had. These hearts behind me are new, but they came from the dollar store around Valentine's Day, and I think they just added a little fun funkiness to the wall. And other than that, her bedding we've had for probably 2 years. All of her furniture is the same furniture we had. We have added nothing else new in here. So keep that in mind, that when you feel the need to redo a room, you don't have to go and get all new stuff. Trust me, like anybody, we see influencers and YouTubers and all the things who go out when they redo rooms. They go shopping for new wall decor, new furniture, new rugs, new plants, paint, new curtains, all the stuff. And that's not always realistic for all of us. It's certainly not realistic for me. I do not have the means to be able to completely flip a room with all new pieces. And so, and it still makes a huge difference just adding paint on the wall and kind of like using the same stuff you have, but maybe in a different way. And that's all we did here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, so we're gonna get started by cleaning her walls off, and this is what her room looked like previous to us doing it. And I don't think I have like footage of the whole thing, but my daughter loves arts and crafts like any little girl. She loves just throwing everything up on her wall. So this is what we got. We got stickers on the mirror. We got stuffed animals thrown up in the corner. Her dresser is a disaster. And for the most part, her dresser is always a disaster. It is a constant battle that I have with her. My boys are so clean. Like even my 7-year-old, he plays with the same little bit of toys all the time. The messiest thing about their room is throwing dirty clothes on the floor. Like that's our battle with the boys. But Brooke always has toys, clothes, arts and crafts, stuffed animals, just everything everywhere all the time. And so it drives me nuts because I'm a little bit of a neat freak, and sometimes I just give up on certain days and just close her door so I don't have to see it. But so that's also what we're trying to prevent as well. Redoing her room is trying to clean up her walls, and so at least I'm hoping that will help me feel like when she does have stuff out on the floor, it doesn't feel as nasty. So also she has all these stickers everywhere, and the unicorn has been on her wall for years. So when it came down, it really made me realize how nasty the walls were in her room. So yeah, so we're just peeling all the millions of things off on the wall. And I'm sticking them on her closet door because I couldn't really decide if I was going to reuse them. She has had these same exact stickers probably since, I don't know, she was maybe 5 or 6. So she's had them for at least 5 years. And they've been moved all around her wall. And fortunately for me, I've never really been a fan, but she's a little girl and it's her room and she loves unicorns even now. But they ended up losing too much of their stickiness, so we did end up tossing them once the walls were done. But I was just trying to stick them on her closet door right here to see if we could save them, and that just didn't happen. After cleaning off her walls, I go around and fill in every single nail hole. This is a step I don't like to skip. I paint walls very often. I like to change color in my house. I used to do it much more often than I do now because now I have 3 kids. It's not as easy. And I used to skip this step. But I put holes in my wall constantly. I'm always rehanging things, moving them around, re-nailing. To me, nails in the wall just don't bother me. That's never been something that bothers me. I know a lot of people don't even use nails anymore. They just use like command stickers. But I put nails in my walls constantly from hanging stuff. And so this is a step that I never skip anymore. And it might seem tedious, but it's really not. I will link down in the box the nail the hole filler that I use, but it's really not. She has a million holes in her wall, and it probably took me 10 to 15 minutes to go around and just fill them. And all I do is nothing fancy. I carry, like you can see, I have the tube in my hand. I squirt a little on my finger, find all the holes, throw some in, move about my day. And it will go on pink, and then once it's dry, it'll be white. And it's just keeps your wall from just getting holes everywhere. And so I think that this is a step that probably a lot of people skip, but is necessary because paint is not going to fill in those holes. And then when you're going to hang stuff back up, you know, we don't want to have to be hanging things in specific areas just because we're trying to cover holes up on the wall. So it's a really easy step that I never skip anymore. And so the painting begins. Now I am trying to light up her room, so I wanted to go with kind of a brighter whitish kind of color. And my daughter really wanted a blue shade in her room, so we compromised. This looks white on camera, but it's pretty close to white, but it does have a blue undertone in it. And so that's the color we went to. Again, I will leave all the information down in the box below with paint colors and everything. Now, obviously, you can see right here that the pink is not very easy to cover. And in fact, I had to do 3 coats just to cover this pink. So it was a little time consuming just because of all of the layers that we had to do. But if I had used a darker color, it probably would not have been so tedious. But I did have to do 3 coats over this pink. Starting all the edging here. I kind of edge as I go along, I guess. I don't do it before or after in one big go, and I don't tape off anything. I know, it's terrible. I don't like the process of having to tape off everything with painter's tape, and so I do just freehand it. Now, you can get really cool trimmers, which I ended up regretting not buying one because it would have gone by so much faster. And I have used them in the past, and I don't always like using them because I feel like they don't always do a perfect job. But then again, neither does my freehanding here with the paintbrush. I always have to clean up a little bit. But that's usually how I do it, mostly because I just try to save some time by having to tape everything off. And I have painted so much, I feel like trimming it by hand without anything taped off is really not a big deal for me. But of course, you can always tape everything off if you're more comfortable with that. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a cord hanging down in the corner here. At the end of the video, you will see my daughter has LED lights in her room, and they are up at the top of the wall all the way around. And so I really debated whether or not to pull them all down. But when we originally put them up, we had already struggled with the adhesive sticking to her wall. We cleaned the wall and everything, and it went up fine, but then over the next couple of days it just kept falling in spots. So what we did is we ended up every couple of feet throwing a staple in to hold them to her wall. And so they're pretty secure up at the top of the wall, so I really struggled on whether to pull them down and for painting the walls, but then we would have just had to trash them. We wouldn't have been able to put them up again. So I decided to just leave them up there. She loves them, and I was trying not to spend any extra money outside of paint, so I didn't want to have to buy any more. So I ended up just leaving them up and painting as close to the LED lights as possible. Now, if you saw a close-up of the LED lights, you can see that there's pink underneath it, obviously. But I mean, it's really, really hard to tell that there's any pink underneath. So I ended up just keeping them up there for the fact of just saving some money, and then figured anytime they end up coming down, then I can just go back in and touch the paint up once they're off her wall. But that is just too much of a hassle to worry about, so I didn't. And here we are, pretty much have everything almost painted, at least for the first coat. So yeah, I didn't show my whole painting because I already feel like this is getting boring just watching me paint walls. And if you've seen me paint one wall, you've seen me paint them all. But it looks so much better. The walls look so much cleaner, it's so much brighter. And once you do have all your trimming done, I mean, it really is just so easy to just roll the paint up. The trimming is definitely the annoying part, just because it's time consuming. You have to be careful and go slow. Once I get that part out, I pretty much just slap up the rest of the paint with the roller. I'm so glad this time I bought the extended stick. And obviously the ceiling's not tall in here, it's just a standard height, but, I usually am like standing on my tippy toes trying to get the top of the wall or pulling a chair out, and it was really nice to have the extended pole. So if you do paint a room, I would recommend having the extended pole. Like, it helps so much for it to go up so much faster. And here is our final results. Walls are done. Trim, baseboards are all painted. I did not film me doing that. You're welcome. But I also went with this kind of beige color, I guess, on my trim and my baseboards. And her room is the first room I have done it in, and I am extending it throughout the rest of my house. I was over the white doors, white trim, white baseboards, and so I decided to paint them. So this is how her room turned out, and I love it. The walls look so much cleaner. That blue door will eventually be the same color as the trim once I get my hall all painted. And her room just looks like so much more organized. These hearts on her wall are from the dollar store that I picked up. And since we were pulling so much off her wall and I was not wanting to put much on, I thought I would add these hearts because she loved them and it is her personality. And I wanted to throw that up on the wall a little bit without being chaotic. So we went with that. And I also decided not to hang curtains back up in her room, just to keep everything a little more clean looking, and not make it feel cluttered at all. Because like I said, she is not my clean child. It's kind of funny. She's a germaphobe to the core. The girl will wash her hands raw. But having stuff all over her floor and her dresser and her bed does not bother her. And I can't figure that one out. But, yeah, everything in here we already had. I reused everything. You know, her bedding is not new. No new furniture. I do plan to paint her dresser. I haven't gotten around to that, and I am going to paint it. We're not going to restain it or anything like that. We're probably just going to go with a pretty blue shade. I'm not sure yet, but this is how our room turned out. And she gets the privilege of our dog sleeping in her room. So you see her kennel in there, and I had to make that fit, but this is it.